Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of the life and letters of the Apostle Peter. And we're going to finish up with John chapter 21 today, the event where they have breakfast on the beach with Jesus, a little cookout, a little fish grill there on the beach, and we see Jesus eat with them, experiencing Jesus in a body, having a body, a corporeal body. But we also see and have been prepared for the reset, the do-over, the restart, the coming back to the beginning, the bringing things full circle. Luke chapter 5, the great catch of fish, that's the moment that Peter becomes a disciple. And we have another great catch of fish, just like at the start. And Peter yesterday demonstrated his eagerness just to be next to Jesus, his willingness to do anything that Jesus asked him to do, to jump as soon as Jesus said he needed anything. And today, Jesus and Peter are going to have a one-on-one. And John is the one who tells us about it. Nobody else does. John, at the end of his own life, remembers his old friend, his surrogate big brother, Peter, and the unfinished business that Jesus and Peter take care of after Peter's denial of Jesus 3 times. Okay, John 21:15. When they'd finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He said to him, "Tend my lambs." And he said to him a second time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." He said to him, "Shepherd my sheep." And the third time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was grieved because he said to him a third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Tend my sheep. Truly I say to you, when you were younger, you used to gird yourself and walk wherever you wanted. When you get older, you'll stretch out your hands and someone will gird you and take you where you don't want to go." Now he said this signifying by what kind of death Peter would glorify God. And when he said this, he said to him, "Follow me." Peter, turning around, saw the disciple whom Jesus loved following them, the one who had leaned back on his chest at supper, and said, "Lord, who is the one who betrays you?" And Peter, seeing him, said to Jesus, "Lord, what about this man?" Jesus said to him, "If I want him to remain until I come, what is that to you? You follow me." Jesus therefore went out among the brethren. This saying therefore went out among the brethren, that this disciple would not die. Yet Jesus didn't say that he wouldn't die, but only, "If I want him to remain until I come, what is that to you?" And then he says, "This is the disciple who bears witness to these things and wrote these things. And we know the witness is true. And there are many other things which Jesus did, which if they were written in detail, I suppose the world itself could not contain the books which were written." I love John's gospel so much, and I love the way he ends his gospel so much. One thinks that maybe he made sure he included this story to counteract the false information, about whether or not he was going to live forever, because he knew he wasn't, because he knew he was about to die on the island of Patmos. Let's not presume that we know everyone's motives here without thinking this through. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Jesus is going to give him the opportunity to tell him he loves him 3 times. That's the significance of this. When Jesus said to him, "Simon Peter, do you love me more than these?" I do not believe at all he's talking about the other apostles. What kind of question is that for Jesus to ask? I think he means these fish. Do you love me more than what you have here? Than what just happened to you? Than your life that you had before you met me? Do you love me more than these? And he's going to ask him, "Do you love me?" 3 times. 3 times in the Greek text, Jesus is going to say agape. And Peter is going to say phileo, which is a different level of love. And preachers all my life have made a big deal out of this. And and have tried to read into it that Peter has not made the full commitment yet. And I don't see that at all. I see Peter's reticence as being the residual shame that he feels for having denied Jesus 3 times in their eyes meeting. Jesus uses different words for lambs and sheep and for tend and feed. But I think John is saying something very clear. Peter is being completely open and intimate and honest with Peter and wanting Peter to profess his love, and Peter is holding back a bit until finally the 3rd time Peter says to Jesus, you know what's in here. I don't have to say it because you already know. And then Jesus says, okay, this is the way it's going to be. You told me once you were going to die for me. Well, you are. If you follow me, you're going to die for me. And then he tells him to follow him. And he does follow him. And then Peter asked that question about John. And all my life I thought, well, he still hasn't gotten it, like he's in competition with John. But I don't know that that's what it is at all. Maybe he's worried about John. Peter, Andrew, James, and John. Peter and Andrew are the big brothers, and James and John. James are the big brothers. Andrew and John are the little brothers. They're paired up already. Maybe he's worried about his friend, his little brother, and wants to know what's going to happen to him. And Jesus says to him, "That's not your business. That doesn't matter. You follow me." And he did, which we're going to be talking about when we start talking about the book of Acts and what Peter does as an apostle after the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus. Well, thank you for joining me for what has now become 7 minutes. I hope they were at least 5 good minutes, and we'll pick up with the ascension of Jesus tomorrow. Thank you.